as we've been digging my wife's allotment plot, I'm coming across well, quite a few different types of weeds, but here are some of the more common ones. So what I'm going to do is I will show you them, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do with them. Now, in some shape or form, all these weeds are going to end up actually going back into my soil, but not in the state they're in, because that would be madness, as they'll just regrow. So they're either going to be composted, rotted down in water and used as a liquid feed, or if there's some really nasty things, I've got a burns bin which we can burn them on. So if you have clumps of grass, if you get it up, if you dig underneath it, kind of like slide the spade underneath it, and you get these like turfs almost, a good way of getting rid of those is I'm just going to lay it upside down on the compost heap, and then it blocks the light to all that grass underneath. That'll stop it from growing, and it'll rot down, and it'll be nice soft crumbly soil, which, you know, when it has composted, that'll be good stuff to use, that grass. Right, I call this creeping buttercup. You might know it by other names. I believe it's in the ranunculus family. We did have quite a lot of this in one certain area. So what I've done with this is I've hoed it, which has kind of cut some of the roots off, and then I'm going to make sure the roots themselves are separated. Any roots like that, they're going to go in. There's a water butt over there which I've just got loads of roots in, and over time they will rot down. So that's what I'll do with the roots. These, chop them up and then they'll compost quicker. That's how I'm going to deal with that one. Next one, mare's tail, equisetum something something something. I was never very good at Latin. In fact, I don't know any Latin. That's not the kind of school I went to. Right, so this one, bad news. You want to try your very, very hardest. I mean, this is a bit that was broken off, but you want to try your hardest to dig out as much root as possible, because this will just keep coming back time and time again if there's any root left. That I'm going to burn, because I hate it that much. I'm not even going to rot it. I'm not even going to drown it in the water, but I'm just going to burn that. So I'll leave it out somewhere for it to dry out, along with any more that I keep digging up, and that will get burned, because you really don't want any bits of this left. It'll just keep coming back. And then the dreaded bindweed. We've had a fair amount of this. The thing with this is, again, similar to mare's tail, it's quite persistent, and it'll keep coming back if you don't remove as much as possible. So where you see it growing, you want to try and dig down and get as many of the roots out as you can. Again, I'm going to burn the roots for that. I'll let that dry out a bit, the green part, and then I will put that onto the compost heap. So when you're digging to get weeds out, what I do is I use a spade, and I go down one spade depth, or a spit, and then what happens is when you turn that over, it brings to the surface all these kind of roots, and then you can either pick them out by hand, or you can try and break up the clods that you've dug with a spade up a little bit with a fork, and then you put it through a riddle. And what happens is if you imagine there's some soil in there, when you riddle it, just shake it like that, the soil goes through and you're left with all the weed roots, which you can then dispose of however you want. So that's how we've been dealing with the weeds that we've been finding so far then. Please subscribe for more free gardening related videos.